Jackson County Public Library.
And I'm Blueberry.
And it is the middle of winter, and Blueberry and I are going to go fly a kite. What? Oh, I know what you're thinking.
Silly Emma, kites are for spring.
I know most of us probably fly kites during the spring and the summer.
But
In some parts of the world, kites are a winter activity, such as South Korea. In South Korea, people traditionally fly kites in the winter, especially on the Lunar New Year and during the 2 weeks leading up to the first full moon of the Lunar New Year. It is said that flying kites distracts from the cold. There are lots of different kinds of kites. South Korean kites are called bangpaeyeon, and they look like this. They are rectangular and very big, with a hole in the middle. Kites are also a traditional part of celebrations for Chinese New Year, which is this year on February 12th. In fact, kites were invented in China in the 5th century BC. That's a long time ago. Kites were used originally to measure distances and test the wind and to communicate secret military messages. There are 4 different types of traditional Chinese kites. The first one are centipede kites, and that's probably what you think of when you think of the Chinese New Year dragon. There's also hard-wing kites, which have frames around the whole thing, and they're usually birds or insects. Soft-wing kites have frames around only part of them, and their bottom flutters in the air. And then there are flat kites, which is probably what you think of when you think of kites, the traditional diamond-shaped kite. And that is what we're going to make today. Guess what? We have books about kites at the Jackson County Public Library. And some of these are The Story of Kites by Ying-Chang Compenstein. This book is about the history of the invention of kites in China, just like we talked about. A Kite for Moon by Jane Yolen and Heidi E.Y. Stempel. Stuck by Oliver Jeffers, about a boy whose kite gets stuck in a tree. And Someone Bigger by Jonathan Emmett, about Sam and his dad who make a kite. Sam wants to fly it, but his dad says he's too small. But what happens when the kite carries the whole entire town through the air? You can call the Jackson County Public Library to make an appointment to come and browse, or to put books on hold. To make your kite, you will need a half sheet of construction paper, a long straw, a short straw, and a popsicle stick, a really, really long piece of string, and a streamer. You will also need tape, scissors, and some sort of coloring. You can use markers, colored pencils, crayons, and I am using oil pastels. The first step is to decorate your paper. Ta-da! Next, I'm going to flip the drawing over and be careful not to smudge anything. Now, you're going to fold the top 2 corners in like you're folding a paper airplane. And then tape those flaps down with tape. You can also use glue if you're feeling really ambitious. Next, take your long straw and tape it to the back of the kite right in the middle so that the tip of it goes all the way to the point. Now, take your second piece of straw, the short one, and tape it over the first one. We want to make sure that this second straw in the middle is long enough that it can bend over the long straw and tape down at both ends, but it doesn't have to go all the way to the edges. Something I'm learning right now is tape does not stick very well to oil pastel. Next, I'm going to take my streamer and kind of crumple the end so that it's kind of like a string, and then I'm gonna slide it under my long straw at the bottom of the kite like this, and then gently, because we don't want to tear, gently tie a knot. I'm going to fold these two corners up to complete the diamond. We want them to cover the knot of the streamer. This little flap here you can trim off. Now, all that's left to do is add the string. Take one end of your long string and carefully slide it under both of the straws and tie a secure knot. Unroll your very long string all the way to the end, and then cut 3 pieces of the same length from the end. I'm going to do this to measure them. Okay, here are my 3 pieces. What I'm going to do is tape the end of each piece to the corners of the kite here, here, and here. Now, take all 3 of these ends and then pull them together with your long string in the middle, and then tie them all into a knot together. Like if we pulled on the strings, the tension in all of them would be the same, like this. That's pretty good. And now we can just take the loop, which is the super long string, and then pull it all the way through and tie the end around your popsicle stick in the middle. Ta-da! Now wrap the yarn around the popsicle stick, and ta-da! Your kite is ready to go. Disclaimer: this kite will probably not fly the way a kite from the store will, but if you run really fast down the street and pull it behind you, it will definitely float.